Hello everyone, Sara Bierman here, Business Agility Coach for Agile Dad. And it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. Let's get started. For today's episode, I'd like to share my thoughts on focus, one of the 5 Scrum values, and I believe the first step in reaching any goal. Let me explain. I had terrible vision for the first half of my life. A combination of astigmatism and nearsightedness gave me thick glasses and expensive contacts. I spent a good amount of time at the ophthalmologist getting my vision tested, and it got progressively worse every year. So when I think of focus, I immediately reference those times someone was keeping me from being blind. The eye doctor uses a refraction test to determine your prescription needs. They switch back and forth between lenses several times, asking 1 or 2. Better or worse. If you hesitate, they will switch back to the first one and ask again, usually slower, 1 or 2. Why do they do this? Because they want you to compare the options and find your best focus. It can take some back and forth to find what is needed, but the clarity you get at the end is worth it. So, what can a visit to the eye doctor teach you about Scrum? I see at least 4 applicable takeaways. First of all, focus doesn't just happen on its own. It takes time and effort, and a guide is almost always necessary. A Scrum team doesn't intuitively know what to work on. It takes a product owner and a Scrum master, along with the engagement from business stakeholders, to create a vision for the team, to keep them from working blindly. Creating, grooming, and prioritizing the backlog of work becomes the most important responsibility of a product owner. Secondly, focus is best found in comparison with the other options. If you are the product owner talking to business stakeholders about their priorities and needs, at some point you will hear multiple requests and need to ask which one is the top priority in comparison with the others. The focus should be on delivering the most value with your limited time and resources, and that can take multiple discussions and repeatedly asking 1 or 2. If you are a Scrum Master, you will guide your team in estimating the work by comparing it to other items or relative sizing. I like to use the criteria of effort, complexity, and doubt or unknowns. You can best measure these aspects for a single work item in relation to other work. It is more of an art than a science, as story pointing is subjective. My third takeaway is that creating focus should be the first step in reaching any goal. There are always so many things to do, and if you try to do everything at once, you are not very likely to do them very well or at all. Spend some time to define your focus, create criteria, and assess the value of your options or needs, and then you can harness your energy on that vision. Bruce Lee said, "The successful warrior is an average man with laser-like focus." So there's no guarantee that you will always hit the mark, but if you don't aim, you are guaranteed that you won't. One trick I have for determining my daily focus is committing to only 3 main to-dos. Of course, I do other things as needed, but I try to really limit my must-dos every day to 3 or less. You might want to create a personal backlog for yourself, so you can reference when you need ideas for what to bring into your daily focus. And you might need multiple backlogs for work, personal, or family to pull in. And lastly, but perhaps most importantly, maintaining focus takes reassessment. The reason you go back to the eye doctor every year is because your vision is likely to change over time. In business, priorities may change constantly, so the product owner needs to create and share the vision of each sprint and protect the team from distractions as much as possible. Every sprint is a new opportunity to refocus. The Scrum Master supports this vision by enforcing work in progress limits and checking in with the team during daily stand-ups to remove any impediments. This doesn't prevent unplanned work, but a team will be most effective when allowed to focus on the committed work and clearly know what work needs to be done first. During the retrospective, Scrum Masters should look for action items to adjust how the team is working and refocus as needed. If you are part of a team that is lacking focus, don't worry, it happens. But with some good collaboration, your team can get back on track. This means that it's everyone's responsibility to be engaged and work on finding that focus. If you are not a product owner or Scrum Master, ask questions, share your observations, and together you will get the clarity needed. If you are part of a team with good focus, be sure to share your gratitude for the leadership of your product owner, Scrum Master, and business partners, because it's a team effort. Of course, it's important to still ask questions and challenge priorities that may not be clearly understood. That is the only way to maintain focus and meet your goals. Happy Wednesday. I hope you were able to find or keep your focus for the rest of the week. And remember, keep it simple and you will be successful.